for Jordan and O'Reilly.
Jordan, what has your off-season been like? I mean, obviously, talked to you toward the end of the season. You've heard a lot of what the goals are going to be.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Yeah, I mean, it's going pretty well. I think it's going pretty well. I've had a lot of focus on trying to get back to what I was doing in 2023, but kind of taking a different approach, a little bit of what I learned in 2024. What I mean by that is I've been working with Brand Brown on trying to get back to kind of my swing where I feel as if I was more comfortable hitting that way, and I think that honestly, 2024 is no secret. I had to make a lot of contact, I pushed changes as needed, so I wanted to start there, and then as the offseason went on, as I get more comfortable with that swing, then we start working on what's going to be the most consistent way for me to hit line drives, drive a ball in the gap. So that's really where my offseason started, trying to get back to my original swing, but kind of building off of it so I can produce more of that extra motion.
Yeah,
right. Absolutely. So some of these. So I honestly, if we're going to go straight to details, I'd say hand placement is really the biggest thing. What he told me, he got in and he told me, and I thought it was a great idea. I was trying to face it earlier on, and he kind of helped me with was my hands were too far back to start. And what I mean by that, I guess I'm getting ready to show you. If you look at the video, my hands were here, and I can't really fire from there and get a consistent, swing path like that. So when I was hitting homers back in 2023, when I was driving the ball back in the fall league, 2022, that video of that, my hands were actually closer to my body, and I got to a fire position a lot closer to my body, and I think that was really the key on how I made more contact, how I, and that was actually the goal early on in the season. So we started with that. We started with the hands. How am I going to get my hands to a consistent placement? How am I going to fire from there every single time? So he was in the cage with me for a few days. He sat, and watched all my swings side by side. He let me know when I was creeping back and getting into my old habits that I had in 2024. And that's really where it started. Now, what the second part of that was getting into my lower half. He said that I didn't get into my lower half as consistently, and I mean, I wish I had a video to really show you because we didn't have a long conversation about this and break this down. I would stop myself. I would stop myself getting all the way in there, and I'll come out of it quicker. And I think that you just said that's muscle memory, like for how fast I come out of my backside. But in 2022, like AA in the fall league, I was getting more into my lower half, so that's also been the main focus. And then also we've had some hiccups with that as well. Like sometimes I felt like I was getting in too slow and I'll be a little too late. So really we worked on kind of getting, what feels the best for me. And that's really what hitting's about, is just feeling good. So if that really answers your questions on specifics, that's really kind of the approach. Yeah, that was in Jupiter. That was the kind of approach that I took.
Jordan, how much has it helped being in Jupiter, being able to work on your game year round?
Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful, man. I love it, man. It's 70 degrees there all the time, at least. Actually, when I left, it was. But it really is nice. And I've been hitting with Mike Antico a little bit too. I was in with Pedro a little before I came up, or I went to Atlanta for the winter break and everything like that. So I think, having those guys around as well definitely helps. Having teammates, hitting with other people is always good. And I think that's kind of what helped.
Jordan, what's it like knowing the Cardinals want to give you 600 at-bats?
Yeah. I mean, it's nice. Obviously, that's nice for sure. But yeah, I really kind of just haven't been thinking. I've just been thinking about getting back to what I was doing, and really my approach. So I've been working hard on it this offseason. I'm excited to kind of take it into the season. I'm actually going to start hitting live BP when I get back to Florida, so I'll really get a chance to see what it looks like against live arms. That's everything. Go ahead.
Right, yeah, just last year a lot of heroes that just kind of had everyone very preached. So this year kind of feel like like a fair way to look at it and have that help and kind of show the rest of the training.
Yeah, for sure. Last year was a bummer with the injury and missing some time, and then coming back, and I felt like I showed some flashes of success, but it didn't feel like my best product out there. So this off season, it's been a bunch of focus on keeping my body healthy. Took a good amount of time at the end of the season to just rest the arm, rest the body, and then get back after it. Body feels really good. And, yeah, most important thing is just stay healthy this year and just try to show what I can do.
The organization has been so consistent throughout the offseason. They've had to just give young players their runway. You being run by there, knowing what you have learned in the last 2 years, what's the most important thing for you to focus on so you can take advantage of the runway that you're going to go?
Yeah, I think this is a great question. The most important thing you want me to that I was focusing on, I think, really, honestly, I obviously wasn't happy with my offense last year. I think that if I produce offensively, there ain't gonna be chances. So it's really on me to produce, and that really has been my main focus. If I answer your question.
And it just goes back to what you've been doing.
Yeah. Right, absolutely. And then also, the defensive side, John Jay as well. He can be more available. I've worked with him a few times, and me and Vic have been working with him a few times. So definitely defense taking I'm really excited to work on that as well. But in all honesty, the main forefront is kind of getting back to field input.
Having someone like John Jay who's played the outfield and seen success in the major leagues, how has that changed this offseason for you and how you can work defensively?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really good. He's really excited about the outfield, man. I remember the first time he came in with all these different drills, all these different balls I've never seen before. So we were doing a bunch of different drills. Vic was a lot better at it than I was, in all honesty. But I think, his excitement for, being able to teach me, I can already tell he loves to teach, you know what I'm saying? So I think having him is going to be really good for sure.
Jordan, when Grant brought you down and stuff, he wanted you to take a look at.
Yeah.
Were you all able to sort of source kind of where you drifted and how you got into that spot and then what you to kind of let in for that stuff?
I think I've made changes last season that just weren't for the better. I think that's what it was. I thought, kind of doing that, spreading my stance out a little bit, moving my hands back a little bit, will help me kind of stand the ball a little bit longer and help me drive the ball the other way. But I think that's really kind of where I got away from it. And right now, it was really just kind of getting back to it with him. Al was really good. I mean, first day I met him, came in with video. Told me exactly what he saw, and he asked me how I felt. And I thought that was, super special, and definitely someone you can trust and work with. So, a very positive, relationship.
Jordan, with different mechanical changes that you talked about, kind of littering through your last season,
Absolutely.
How eager are you now to be in a spot where you feel like I can put the mechanics behind me and then kind of let the instincts to take over again at the plate? How big is that?
I think that's the most important thing. Feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can hit if you don't feel good. So I think the instincts are the most important part. So super excited, to see where it goes for sure.
Riley, after last year where you kind of needed to get the innings total, you might have wanted to get you right. Do you do anything in the winter that's different to make sure your body's in a spot where you did put some miles in the clock, right?
Yeah. I think big focus, is just keeping the body healthy, and I think a lot of that, dealing with the elbow injury last year. I think just strengthening the shoulder, strengthening the forearm has been a big focus this offseason. Just trying to put my body in the best spot to last a whole season and perform at my best.
How do you guys, both of you, assess your manager's performance, Ollie Marmol? I mean, I'm just asking.
He's wonderful. He's great, man. Absolutely the best. Can't get better than that.
Jordan, the way you were just through this whole thing, starting right off with that spot and what you're doing.
Right.
The enthusiasm you have for it is clear. I hope I'm reading
Oh,
that
yeah,
right.
absolutely, man. I like hitting. So,
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what I'm
yeah,
wondering.
right.
Do you like it again?
Oh,
Do you lose that?
I've always liked hitting.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously baseball's not always fun. For sure, you're not going to do slumps and things like that. But I've always enjoyed hitting. So I think working through is just part of the process. Going into the league, I didn't think that the player I am was going to be the player that I was going to be. I want to play 15, 20 years. So I think you're going to have to change at some point. And so figuring out early, learning it out early, what I need to do to change, I think is really good. And I've still enjoyed the process for sure.
Mason mentioned that you're also moving around. You obviously got a lot of size on you. You're moving around. Well, that was focus of the season.
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
Yeah, honestly, to be honest, I kind of like the weight I was at the end of the season. I didn't really want to put on any more weight. More now, my lifts have been more banded lifts, kind of maintaining where I'm at right now, and then also flexibility. I've been doing a lot of stretching. Antigo's gotten me into the sauna as well, and I'm not quite sure what it does for me, but I definitely want to try it. But yeah, it's more kind of flexibility and mobility more than kind of putting on muscle. No, yeah, I feel more fluid, absolutely. Not in this cold weather for sure, but yeah, definitely for sure. So I'm excited to see that.
You're talking about the fact that trying to get back in your swing years ago.
No.
you're bigger physically, you develop more physically. How do you balance it? We're not the same body as you were.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, and I think I didn't take it into account as much as I needed to, but I think my focus was the fluidity. I felt fluid, like how I was, and now I didn't think my swing a few years ago was perfect, and that's what I'm working on Brand Brown with, is kind of taking what was good about my swing a few years ago and adding to it what I learned, kind of really just stability, how to kind of make my direction a little bit better towards it to kind of create something new, create something else better offense.
Jordan, something you mentioned yesterday, he said this is the young guys' team now. Like, they have to take over the clubhouse. They have to be the leaders. How much are you comfortable doing that and being a part of that group?
Yeah, man. I would hope one day I would want to be a leader for sure, but I think Donnie's got on a lock for the young guys as of right now, man. He's capped for us for sure. I mean, he's so knowledgeable right now, and I think that I should really take the time to learn from him. Obviously, I want to be a leader in this game, and I'm not quite there yet. So I think learning from him, learning from Sonny, and just learning from my teammates, will kind of help me get there.
How much can it help you, like they've talked about? You know you're going to be in a lineup every day. You know you're not going to go 0 for 7 and then be sent out. That you have that extended runway. How much can that help your confidence?
I think it can, but I think that confidence is something that comes from yourself as well. I mean, I want to produce, and I know how the league goes. If you don't produce, you can't always play. So I have really high hopes for myself. I have high standards for myself. I want to reach it. So if I don't, then no one's more disappointed in myself than I am. So yeah, I mean, obviously I want to produce, and if I produce the way I want to this year, then I shouldn't have to worry about that.
Jordan, Mason said the toughest thing about making adjustments at the major league level is the next adjustment.
Yeah.
What have you learned about making adjustments?
Man, these pitchers are smart, man. I think as soon as you make an adjustment, you feel good, they'll start figuring something else out. So I think, just kind of keeping up with them, learning their tendencies, learning what they do well, and then learn kind of how they want to attack you. I think that's something I can definitely work on a little bit more. Just kind of what they're trying to, your weakness are, what they're trying to find your weaknesses and kind of capitalizing on that so you're ready to approach that. That answers your question. Good.
Jordan, you made changes going into the offensively this spring training last year and through spring training. What's the biggest difference this year? Just how you're going about making changes, the process,
I think, so I said it earlier, I think I made changes for the worse, to be honest. I got away from some of the things that I was good at. And I think, as of right now, focusing on those things will lead to a better spring training. As I said before, I wasn't happy with spring training. I wasn't happy with here. I think I'm more capable of doing that. But I think the productivity of having Brand Brown around, and him showing me what, I was successful at and where I was getting at, and also things that I could work on and kind of incorporate that would cause me to have more success. It was more of a feeling last year. I did this because I feel like I can hit it the opposite way, but there's no true, metrics to really support that. And I think that, all the data that he brought, that there's metrics to support it now. Now it's my job to carry it out. And if I carry it out the right way, I feel like I'm going to have a pretty good year.
Do you think the changes this year were more directed by data, I guess?
Well, not data, they didn't film. I mean, I feel like, just driving it the other way. I feel like this past year I didn't do it as well, but I've done it before. See what I'm saying? Like, I've done it before. I feel like I'm confident I can do it. And he showed me the differences of where I was this year and where I was last year. Why am I not driving that ball in the right field gap? And I think just seeing that and then kind of capitalizing on that, I feel like that's a change enough for me to, kind of get back to what I was doing.
Riley's going to see here how effective and important the bullpen was for the team last year. That now 2025 is going to be a fresh start of spring training. How do you think your skill set can help that bullpen this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think with a healthy season, I can really have a good impact in the bullpen. There's a ton of talent out there. It's a great group of guys. I was able to learn a bunch last year from the guys. Just with being hurt during the games, hanging out in the bullpen, I'm not focusing on myself as much, and I was able to observe, kind of just see the process that the guys go through, how they get ready, and I feel like it was really helpful. Talked to a bunch of guys. Kittredge was a big guy to lean on, especially helping me through the injury and stuff. And I feel like I want to take all that, try to use it this year, and hopefully have a successful, healthy year.
Jordan, you seem extra fired up about your relationship with the new hitting coach,
Yeah.
and also the relationship with John Jay. Can you just talk about how early on, before the season's even started, the change in the coaching philosophies and the coaching connections has helped to energize you and maybe bring out the best in you?
I think it's really the energy they bring, man. They're excited to get after it. How can you not be excited to follow them? You know what I'm saying? So I think I just like the way they both approach the game of baseball, and it makes me also just really want to fight. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's true.
Dick said that JJ got him on the baby glove on day one.
Yeah. For day one, I remember that. Yeah,
You got one yet?
Yeah, I tried it, man. I think actually the one thing I did better than Vic was field the ground ball, but so everything else he got me on. So he had Vic on the baby glove, and it is impressive how fast he picked it up. So I think the drills they did, because the first day I think we were 20 feet away, and he got the machine out, started shooting the ball 100 miles per hour at us, and see really we could stop it. And then we built on that. We went to it's not just stopping the right way, how to get in a good position to throw. And so I think, already his approach is just making an impact. So definitely excited to see, what these upcoming days, they work with him some more, work with him in spring training, work with him down the year, see the type of player that we are at the end of the year for sure.
Ryan, coming into your second spring training with the Cardinals, how much does that kind of come together from last year serve as kind of like a starting point for like how do we get to know you as a team, but now it's kind of this one?
Yeah. I mean, the first spring training with the team is always different. You're showing up to a clubhouse and you don't really know anybody. Done it a few times, but yeah, the second year coming in, you have your friends, you know everybody. It's kind of just one less thing to think about. You don't have to stress about meeting a bunch of new people and trying to get to know everyone. You already know everyone. You can just focus on your work. And I'm really looking forward to spring training. I think it's gonna be good.
Jordan, how have you and Mason, like you made the big leagues before Mason, and then Mason got up here and had success. How has that relationship changed, and how much have you leaned on each other through those times?
Yeah, I mean, having Mason, man, it's unbelievable. I think that we saw ups and downs in the minor leagues, and he's ups and downs in the MLB. I mean, he has a positive outlook on the game. We joke about it all the time, man. Sometimes you just gotta laugh through it a little bit. He cracked jokes at me when I was in Memphis and everything like that. I think that having him in my corner, me being in his corner is definitely beneficial for both of us. I mean, honestly, when you can joke about things like that, it's nice to have somebody going through it. You know what I'm saying? But he had a great year last year, so it's also nice, and I guess don't sound like I said this, but look up to him as well. But I'm like, wow, man, he's doing his thing, so I want to be right there with him. So I think that's also a great motivator as well. But yeah, we'll keep going with it for sure.
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay,
one more. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Sure. Well, all right. I mean, you said that next week you're going to face pitchers, right?
Yeah,
so
I'm sure.
You put all this work in, and like pitchers talk about, I don't know how pitch is going to run today.
Right.
Who's going to tell me? Is your level of excitement for facing a pitcher and seeing all this work? What is that?
It's super exciting, man. I mean, like, you can do all the training, you can look good in the cage, you can feel good in the cage. What matters is when you're facing an actual pitcher. You know what I'm saying? So I think you get a lot more input when you face one. So I'm super excited these upcoming days. There's some IBPs going down to Florida, close to where I'm going to. So you're definitely one of the first ones to step in the box and see how it goes. For sure.
Nice.
Good.